feel like I'm in kindergarten.
I know, me too.
With this table up here. There's one chair room with the smallest dinner table like that. I kept getting it. I'm sitting like this. It do feel like I'm
Corey,
in
whenever you're ready.
Okay,
and-
let's
and-
begin this meeting. We're calling to order the Sustainability Board meeting of April. And welcome, and everybody, it looks like, we have everybody in attendance, so that's wonderful. Thanks, everybody, for being here, and, we are lacking audience, but that's okay. It's all good.
No Ann, though.
No Ann, where's
Yeah.
Ann? Okay, well, we'll look for Ann. No Ann. Rude. Do we have a volunteer for April secretary? Oh, Mary Dell, thank you so much. And Julie sent out the March minutes, did everybody get those?
Yes,
Yep, and then there was a change, and there's,
let's
you
make
said
sure
that
that's correct,
the 850 grant is in
right, Mike?
from,
We have the 850, right,
from, who?
For the,
for the
Arbor-
Arbor Day?
yeah,
Yeah,
we got that.
From
And we
Arbor
did-
Day or from DNR?
Yeah, we did get, we got the smaller of the two grants, we got
Right.
the $19,000 one. So we will be doing the tree removal project.
Oh, perfect.
oh, we got it,
Yep, we did.
Wow.
yay.
Wow.
The 19,000?
19,000.
The other one was the big one. That was with us, without us doing much labor. So this way we do
Ah.
much labor. The
But-
big one was like 50,000, so.
Okay, but the
So who
850 last
was,
month was Arbor Day.
19,000 from?
It was a DNRC
Oh.
Urban Forestry Project Program Development Grant.
Nice.
Okay, super.
Those funds
are actually gonna come through, they're not frozen or anything.
Yeah, we're all kind of terrified about that. It's
Get
And we
it
did get
cash.
the-
Well, I haven't-
Get it cash.
Get it in cash.
I have-
Your mattress.
I haven't got the signed agreement yet. They said to
Okay.
wait to spend money, and I've been kind of hoping, I'm just looking at my emails to see if it came today, but.
Cool.
Anyway, approval of March minutes, with that
With that
correction.
correction.
And we did get the 850. Okay,
From Arbor Day, okay.
from Arbor.
And that's, no, not from Arbor Day, it was from DNRC?
Another one from DNRC?
So
I think so.
last month,
Is that right, Mike? Where the 850 came from?
The 850 came from DNRC.
DNRC, okay.
Okay.
It,
That's
I
just
thought that
their-
was frozen, okay.
And then
That's
we
called
got-
their tree planting grant.
And then we did get 19,000, maybe,
Ish.
from
I can't, yeah,
from DNRC, okay.
Oh,
And that was that was for a tree removal.
tree removal project with the planting back of 30 trees, removing 72-ish, 78.
Plant 30. Perfect. Okay.
Great.
Do we have a motion to approve those, March minutes?
Move to approve.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Uh,
Say aye. Aye, okay.
Okay.
Public
Are
comment?
you ready to speak on that?
We don't have a public to
Yeah.
comment, so let's
We're
move
kinda
on.
Waiting for weather.
Update on Northwest Energy solar projects that are in limbo. Is Alan here?
Yeah.
He was.
Well, I think,
Maybe you could help out, Mike. Okay.
so Northwest Energy, we got everything into Northwest Energy, that they need. They got back to me on the public workshop. They have that meter reprogrammed. I expected the recycling to follow within a couple days, and it hasn't, so I'm gonna follow up on that, because, one should be, I'm waiting to have Henry come fire them both up at the same time, rather than have him come for one and one. But, still waiting on recycling, and I don't know what, either paperwork with Northwest Energy, or I'm pretty sure they swapped out the meter. With the new meters, they just changed it on the computer. So, but those are done.
Are you
Yeah,
saying it
right.
was inoperable up until this point, because we haven't had a operating meter?
Yes, we had to, it was a bunch of paperwork dealing with permit numbers that they needed. But
Yep.
it's all done, and
Okay,
but those two projects are, we should be able to close those out and hopefully get reimbursed, 'cause we've spent, about 25,000 of our own money, that was not part of the match, that we have to get reimbursed from Northwest Energy on.
Okay, perfect.
And just a few other public works things, I had to sit down and go through resort tax stuff the other day, which was a good, exercise for me, and, saw the UV chargers on there that the resort tax, put some money towards. I got those ordered, they should be
Okay.
here this week.
Nice.
There's two down there that are working out of the four. I just ordered 4 new combination ones from Tesla, so they'll fit
Oh.
any car, and then we're gonna take the 2 that are still functioning and put them on the shelf as backups.
Okay.
All right, that's great.
One thing,
Nice.
we still haven't got an RFP on the, for solid waste, but in some conversations I had, and it was, I was impressed, one of the vendors is gonna present a plan that would have some options for recycling. One would be that they take over and run our recycling center for us. 2 would be what curbside would look like, and 3 would involve kind of how the revenue sharing would work on the items that we actually get some money for, like cardboard, aluminum, things like that. So that RFP got extended till May 30th, so we won't hear anything till probably, my guess is May 30th.
Oh, well, hopefully they had requested May 15th, so just add a little bit more. They had reached out and said, hey, we're working on 3 really good options to address your recycling, but it's gonna take a little bit more time. Will you extend it? And what we ended up doing is we let it run out and then we extended it. But we had already extended it once at a request, and then they came back, but they gave us enough teaser options, as Mike kind of alluded to
Yeah,
say, okay, we'll play along.
well, that sounds
And what was
interesting.
the third one?
It's basically the same concept, but it's how to loop the cost of collected materials back into it to help offset the cost. So in other words, do we just pay them one set price and then any rewards go to them, or does it make it back to the city somehow?
This is this is in addition, you're talking about another vendor other than Republic.
No,
I didn't say that.
Okay, so this is
This is Republic coming back with 3 different
Oh.
options for us.
oh, God.
We've been
Okay.
talking with Republic
Yes.
about recycling for the last year and having
Yes.
all sorts of, and so they said, we've got it, but we want to do it right, so we need some extra time to prepare the proposal.
Excellent, okay, good.
So
Okay.
there's also a place out of Wyoming that has expressed interest and reached out and talked. But one of the things that we did this time, and it'll fit into the conversation a little bit later, I have a sneaking suspicion. In the past, there was a rating system and there was a score that was given to whether they had bear cans or not. And we just changed it this year and said, you will have bear cans or you're not
Oh,
submitting.
yeah.
So it was not an optional scoring thing.
Yeah.
It was, you'll do it or
Yeah.
it won't fit
that
for
makes
us.
sense, but, yeah, no
So,
point in having cans
excellent.
on paper.
And so whether we end up with just one vendor that's able to meet that requirement, it's not the best negotiating position in the world, but hopefully we'll be
It's like
we'll be all right.
our electric utility.
Yeah, it is.
Except for that's not the city's problem, that's not the,
No.
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
wish we
Last,
had enough.
last public works thing is,
Okay.
I'm just starting to do budget stuff for, next year, and one of the things I'm gonna try and budget for that was, I believe, in the sustainability Bible, was to
Yeah,
put,
okay.
infrared heaters in our new shop. Because I think you guys identified infrared heaters as, and we need, the shop was built in 2022 or 23, and it never got heat system. So we're gonna try and do that, and we're gonna try and do it so that it meets one of the requirements in that document.
Great,
Oh, it's wonderful.
great, yeah.
And I think that's all I got.
Okay,
That's a lot, thank you very much.
There's a lot.
That's
There's
super.
lots going on, yep.
Okay, so, we do have some projects that are, pending, and I'm assuming we haven't heard anything about those, so,
No, we haven't heard anything on the only pending solar project would be the solar charger at the solar
Right.
power at the bathroom slash
Oh, okay.
Right.
car charger.
and no news.
No news.
Okay. Well, we kind of talked about Arbor Day, Earth Day, with the Parks Board, with that, nice $19,000 grant plus the $850 for tree planting and tree removal. Anything else, maybe Mary Dell, you probably know more on the Parks Board, is there an event planned? I know it's not gonna be April 22nd.
There's something that they're doing May first, that was just a meeting to talk about it,
May
wasn't it?
1st?
Yeah, well, I think it was, it had a general consensus, was it June 14th, we're gonna do
Okay,
scaled down version of what we did last year.
perfect.
'Cause we're only, last year we did 48 trees, this year we're gonna do either 28 or 30, so,
Planting,
it'll be just a scaled down.
yeah, tree planting.
If possible, one of the things I added in the grant, make it score better. Person we're hiring from Red Lodge Tree Service to cut the trees down is a certified arborist, and the urban forestry people love that. Because
Yeah,
I
they
guess
do.
they're rare. And so I added in there that, you know, and he's on board with this, we're gonna do like a 2-hour pruning workshop.
Oh, great. Cool.
That's open to public. And I don't know, I'm contemplating putting that on the same day as the 14th. But I don't know, that might be too much to pack into a day and do it right. So we'll kind of let that evolve as we
Yeah.
move forward.
Sure.
I'm not opposed to that idea. That sounds, because
Of what, of putting it all
of having it
together.
there, there's here's how to plant them, here's how to prune them.
Yeah,
and-
as long as
There's
we
some
can do it
validity there.
and not get spread too thin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
We had a ton of
I'd
people
like-
last year.
What's that?
We had a ton of people
Yeah,
last year.
no, and I think that with the level of volunteerism we had, we could do it, 'cause we're planting less trees, and we'll do the same thing this year, we'll dig all the holes first, let everything there, so it's just walk up, plant tree.
Yeah, that's-
Perfect.
that's
We,
good.
we did have, if you hadn't stopped by the front and got it already, we did have somebody call in and ask if we were doing our tree program again, and I actually just referred them to you
Yeah,
because
just
there was
get their
still stuff in
names.
developing.
'Cause I don't, unless we get some extra money, like a giveaway program,
I didn't know what that 19 is going to, how it was gonna be, so. We're just collecting the information,
yeah, we'll just
so.
collect names and see if we can kill two birds with one stone.
Would that be Parks Cleanup Day too?
Probably not.
Okay,
I think,
okay, that's not,
that may happen beforehand
At-
because
okay.
there's a lot of dug through.
At this point, parks cleanup is not gonna be a day, it's gonna be a month, so it's all
Oh,
of
okay.
May.
Okay,
But there is a two yet to be determined, get together and celebrate the concept, or, you know, have the barbecue or whatever that they
Mhm.
do, but it's gonna be all month long because with weather and so many different
Yeah.
parks,
in different parks, different times.
so.
Yeah, it's nice to get the parks cleaned up before Memorial Day,
Mm-hmm.
so that's huge.
That sounds good.
From
I
the
don't know if
winter
you had a
snows.
chance to see our tree out front on the way in, this tree, I don't know if it was snow. or
Okay,
leaves, but-
anything else?
Did it get butchered?
Lot going on, reusable bag committee update, how are we doing?
Nothing new.
Nothing new.
I had this crazy idea, but we should just be thanking people that bring their bags, you know, people have bags. I don't know what idea could kick in, I just thought, you bring your bag and they throw a little chocolate square in there or something, you know, just a little something.
You
Like
know,
give out a
reward.
reward for
I think it's
using.
really good about thanking people, just you know, and then they have new bags too that they're giving out, like,
Do
the
they have
other day I
already?
had my two,
Do they?
yeah, I had my two reusable bags, but I needed a third bag, she's like, oh, I got you, and she gave me another
they've
one.
got
I
the
was
new
like,
bags
yeah.
already.
Yeah,
I
they
feel
got
like
their
they're
new
doing
bags.
a good job too.
So, yeah.
At most another sign or, you know.
You know what would be nice is if, in a budget somewhere, we could have something out by the cart corral outside, just say, you know, me with our goofy little bear, don't
Right.
forget to bring in your reusable bag, 'cause once, the sign is inside as you go in.
Yeah,
I know.
But people aren't gonna go back to their car.
No.
Not usually, no. So who was here talking about the Bozeman, bag, reusable,
From
IG?
IGA.
Oh, that was Rod Bastian.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and so I think I said to him,
Mm-hmm.
could we put a sign out, on the cart return? Did you remember your bags today? And he said, sure.
Yeah, he did say it.
So.
That would be a good thing to work on, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we can do that.
Well, we'll have to,
Yeah.
that's a budgetary item,
Right.
so, we'll have to figure out how to do that, but,
Mhm.
and the city has been very generous with,
That's crazy. Guilt.
a lot of,
Guilt
EV
introduction
stuff and
fees.
everything,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
I think if maybe we could work in cooperation with, it's not the IGA anymore, it's Food Club?
I think it's still IGA, they just switched who their
What
back
is-
vendor is, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
okay.
the
It's a
way-
different
the way
chain,
I know.
so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it
It's
changed the
still
front
nice,
end at all, it's
yeah.
just
Oh.
who's
The food
supplying
group,
them.
Okay.
Yeah. it's-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Mhm.
But it might be worth a conversation with, Rod or Sean,
Mhm.
okay?
And
Okay.
they've been very supportive in every way, sense, and form, and always have been.
So they're great. Well, maybe we can,
And probably figure what would a sign look like, how big would it be, what would a,
well, you'd want it
What
on
we
both
want.
sides,
Yeah,
so you
both
could see
sides.
it, so.
What are the steel
Anecdotally,
signs
I
cost
see
us when we
lots
get them
of
printed at once and
people
Tuesday?
bringing their own
So,
bags.
I know.
I do too,
I
I just
like
think
that.
it's getting better, I do.
I do, I think that
$30.
climate
So
is
nice
good.
about thanking you, and,
Yeah.
oh, do you have your own bag? I
Right.
mean, I think it's getting better
And
too.
there's no, you kind of got the eye roll a couple of years ago if you brought your own bags,
Yeah,
and they open them and they would fall apart, they'd close, and anyway, you don't get that anymore.
no.
Okay, well, let's see if we can.
I liked your idea of a little chocolate or something you throw in, 'cause
I-
like you said, if I'm
I
up
like
to the door, and I'll use it for poop, so
But
it's
if you
okay.
think,
But, I'm gonna get a treat if I go back and get my
There's
bag.
something in there, I know.
Did you do your idea earlier? I was just,
I like that. Chocolate and bag.
I like it. It makes me, makes it
Um,
worth going back to the car to get that bag.
If, I'll take that on. I'll talk to, I know both Rod and, Sean, and I'll talk to them about maybe a sign and see if they're interested, and if we could get a quote from wherever, and,
those
Yeah.
signs, I think it'd probably be about $30, 'cause we've printed stuff like that off before. And that's small enough, if you guys say that's what we wanna do, just
Has to be.
figure out what it says and
it
let's
has to
do
be
it.
big, though. It has to be weather resistant.
But if you think about it,
No.
those street signs are pretty big, and
Yeah.
isn't that what you guys
Oh,
talked
yeah,
about?
they-
Yeah, just kind of on the
Little
side of
signs
the
like this.
cart
Oh, like-
thing.
Oh, like a
authorized
metal
first
street
demo,
sign,
I
or,
think they're like $30.
really?
From where?
Oh,
We got
Billings
connected.
Junction 7 or
You
something?
got connected.
No, it's
Billings Construction.
Prisoners Are Us. They have a
oh.
construction company that does it, so.
Billings
Graduated
Construction,
Toys R Us.
I said
they have a sign shop.
Oh.
that's a small enough item, if that's what we wanna do, let's just do it.
Oh,
We don't have to make everything a federal project.
Okay, well,
And
we
you
still
can
have to get their
do it
permission.
Pardon?
yeah.
We still have to get their permission,
Yeah.
and we'll have to go through
We
a
have it in our
design.
minutes, I think, that he said that would be okay.
But I think here's what we're saying, are you okay with this design? Do you wanna tweak it?
Yeah,
Maybe they wanna put IGA branding on it, we don't care.
right.
No.
Okay, and this is a bit of an aside, but, the two sidewalks, on Eighth the bumpers have been, with snow removal, have been pushed onto the sidewalks. And then there's just all this grit, and they're not walkable at all. The trees got limbed up, which is wonderful, 'cause they needed it. But a pedestrian, can't really round that corner.
Right.
I
Either
don't even
corner.
think there is a sidewalk.
There are sidewalks, they're.
No, there isn't.
They're
Apart.
covered in dirt and grit and.
By those trees,
Yeah.
across from the art guild?
Yes. And those concrete bumpers, to stop cars have been, two of them at least have been shoved. And, everyone goes to the IGA, all the tourists go there, everyone goes there. And the landscaping is we've talked about this
Yes,
before.
I know, yeah.
But I don't know what to do about it.
Well, part of it sounds like just our city cleanup after winter, but we're kind of waiting until after winter to do that.
Right,
To
but
do it
those
just
bumpers
We're
right.
not
need to
after
be
winter yet.
Yeah.
moved, and, you know, even where the IGA Beartooth Market sign, it's weeds in the landscaping.
But
it's
that's
weeds.
not, that's not us,
No,
that's
that's
private
them.
property.
Yeah, it's
That's
private
them,
property,
I know,
so-
I get it.
So.
But how do we, encourage?
We can't even get people to park right in this town. I don't think we're gonna get that to happen. Sorry, parking is my personal pet peeve.
I'm trying to remember where the sign is
That's
that
probably
you're talking about.
part of the
You're talking about on the corner of Eighth and
Yeah,
Dillard?
yeah,
Parallel
it's
parking.
weeds.
Angle parking,
You
backwards
know,
parking,
it's,
parking in my
and then,
driveway
you know,
parking.
along, what is that,
Oh,
Hauser?
straight.
That's really
Yeah.
crappy too.
Wow.
People just park in the street like a normal person.
Just saying, you know.
Yeah.
Sherry, did you get this
Yeah.
meeting back on track?
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, here we go, here we go. We digress. We digress. Okay, the next thing, reusable bag. Okay, that's down there. I'm gonna.
I won't put that in the minutes.
Yeah. Anything, and the recycling center, I think this is still, I was looking for Ann for any sort of update there, but it sounds like, there are, some potentially exciting things happening with, contract negotiations, so we'll just put that on hold.
And then
put
the
in process.
secondary part of that is we had asked Mike to, kind of give us, some feedback of what is there, but again, weather is kind of interfered with doing
We're
it.
not there yet. I mean, when it gets where we can, it's not a mud hole out there. And,
Yeah,
about if it's a drive-through or a back-in or.
if we end up, if the city ends up with it, the city ends up with it, then we have to, that would be a nice time to take a
Well,
look at it.
and
Well, I think
it goes either way,
we need
yeah.
to look at it. If we can improve it, I think with the added property we have there by being able to move that fence, then, you know, that's something that we should just do, irregardless of how things go forward. It'll still be our facility. They'll just run it. If,
Right.
see, we don't know what the
Right.
numbers are gonna look
One
like.
of the things that's really interesting, I was over in Paradise Valley this weekend, and I see the bear thing is still there, so I was taking pictures of all the cans and their recycling, and one of the things that's really interesting, they have the big, and there's lots of other towns that have them, that's just where I was this week, so I noticed them. They've got the big recycling bins where here's plastic and here's cardboard, that's unattended. And people go in, and even their trash is like that, but their whole goal is, it's not that it's a profit center.
Right.
So their logic was a little bit kind of like, if maybe we're paying for it in the city, but the goal is to get cardboard out of the trash and dumpsters, and so put it in there. So it was one of the things that really stood out to me that they had done. We have a little bit of a strong arm mentality with ours that I've the couple of times it's escalated up to me, I've been concerned because it kind of gets in the way of what the real objective is. It's, you know, you're dropping that off and you can't drop that off because that box is from outside of town, and it's like, let them leave the box. It keeps that out of the landfill, so.
So was this Gardner?
It was actually an immigrant,
Oh.
but Gardner,
Right
all
by
the way,
Chico.
everything down Paradise Valley where they have all the cans and stuff set up. They have all the recycling stuff, and it's basically self-serve, and they just have cans
And
at
is
every
it's a
location.
Livingston that way too?
That's that transfer
Not trash.
station.
It's-
That is a transfer.
No, they
Is
have
it
them
not?
at gas stations. You go to the gas station, and there you get your gas, and over on the side, there's a whole bunch of bins to drop
Oh, it's
everything
not the
off.
transfer station that's
It's-
outside of town.
It's everywhere. So the transfer station also has it, but the Sinclair has it.
Oh,
It's just every place, like the grocery store, every place you go, they just have them there.
Who picks it up?
I think I did take a picture of it, because I don't remember that it was Republic. I don't remember that it wasn't
EFI?
either.
Because, you know, Gardner is still not incorporated. and
Because
it's
they
not
were,
in
yeah, they were
the
pretty
either.
big,
Right.
Maybe county probably.
County, yeah.
County doing it, I suppose.
Well, then,
my wife makes the joke that I need to start writing these trips off. I'm
I'm
going around
just curious,
taking
'cause, like,
pictures.
hasn't our argument on why we don't do bins is because people throw trash in it, so how are they able to do those without,
I don't know,
Exactly.
unless people are?
because they're as
it being-
touristy as we are.
Yeah.
And it's the same ones that are actually inside of the park. And part of that was
Oh.
feedback because for those who were at the Bear thing,
Yeah, is this, back alley? Are these back alleys?
full recycling, first, Full Circle Recycling is who puts the bins out there.
Hmm.
That's fairly
And
new.
we don't know who they are.
Well, I got their phone number,
Okay.
but they have newspaper, magazines, phone books, and office paper.
Wow.
Number 1 and number 2 plastics, no, number 3 to number 7s, steel, aluminum cans,
But how
and
do
then they had a separate one for cardboard.
how do they prevent people from just throwing any plastic in there?
They put a trash can next to it, and the hope is that people put the trash can in the trash can, because
Oh.
it's right there.
The trash can.
Yeah.
Well,
They're in Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Bozeman, Montana.
oh, interesting.
Wow.
Bozeman, huh?
Out of,
How
Bozeman. And so the county must contract with them.
I don't know, my job was, I
Yeah.
just observe and notice and
That's
take
really-
pictures.
That's really interesting, actually, huh?
It works someplace.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, part of it was when at the Bear Conference, one of the things they came back for is
Right.
greater, Yellowstone and all those surrounding areas, they had 4 bear encounters last year.
No, that was in the
As-
park.
That was his destination, was in the park, and you compare that to, we put down 13 black bears last year.
Oh, my gosh, wow.
And so it was,
Yeah. It's not working.
there's something that they're doing.
Well,
Well, they've got
Yeah.
complete control over
Yeah.
how it
In
happens
the park, no,
park.
it's living.
right. I
per
mean,
se.
even if you have a bear can, you can circumvent that, obviously, right? We've talked about that. Either you don't close the lid, or you tape the lid open, or, you know.
well, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
I think it's a second reading this time. I'm gonna skip around here. I don't have this on the agenda, but there is
Number 7.
ordinance 941.
It's not reading yet, so it's still just in discussion in committees, so.
Oh, crap. Well, anyway, it's on the table, anyway. It's on the table, and, people with bear-resistant cans must close them. And I don't know how that's gonna be be enforced. So I don't know how that's gonna be done, because I walk the alleys all the time.
Step 1, we make it a rule. Step 2, we follow up when they don't follow the rule. So we're on step
Thank
1,
you.
which is
Okay.
what you're talking about right now.
Okay,
Well,
Okay.
Last summer, I got a notice from the city about, we live in a bear community, you must, close your cans. And there was a phone number, I don't know, I have not called it, that you could call if you were walking around or driving around and you saw a violation, you could call it into the city. Now, I know you got some flack for that,
Yeah, it
at
was,
the bear thing, and I was like, wait, there is a number you can call. So, it's unfortunately a neighbor-to-neighbor thing, but,
we actually have a letter that we have sent out to, that's why I don't get riled easily.
You don't. I do. Well, and, I think some of these, short-term rentals, maybe they need to have 2 cans. Because, somebody calls up or goes online and they rent the place, and they say they're only gonna have 4 people. Well, guess what? They have 8 or 12 people who actually show up.
Well, that's the renter's problem, and they should be fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They should at least maybe have 2 cans, so if that situation occurs,
I
they
don't,
can actually put their, 'cause
it seems to me this is gonna take a lot of cooperation between, Republic and the city. And I think
Mhm.
Republic are the people there, and I assume
Mhm.
it's the Republic that's gonna be doing the contract. But they're the ones that, drive the
the
alleys
routes
all the
every day
time.
and see it.
And they
Yeah.
can see, oh my God, there's one open, I would say a little less than half of the bear cans, when I walk the alleys, just on this side,
yeah,
are
open.
open.
Yeah.
Are open and
And
propped
that's,
open
that's
or
actually,
whatever.
anecdotally, that to me is our biggest problem, is right there on
Oh.
this,
Oh,
on
yeah.
this east side alleys.
Well,
They had some stickers there too that they, and so I think this is gonna be part of that ordinance,
Okay.
They must be closed, you know, you can't be overfilled.
Right.
And they had a sticker that's available there that we can order and we'll go through and put on the garbage cans as soon as we know that that's our cans.
Well, but, you know, I think that short-term rental, if they don't need to use both cans for that stay, great, but if they've got some overflow, they've got 2 cans.
Can people pay for a second can? Is that how you get it?
Yes, the
Yeah.
short-term
Pay
rental
for
would
2
have to.
cans.
Yeah,
But,
okay.
when I lived in Salt Lake, a former mayor made the point that all these people drive into Salt Lake City from the suburbs. They drive on the roads and create issues, you know, potholes, congestion. They pollute our air, and then they go home at night. And so I started thinking about that. Okay, somebody comes in with a short-term rental, and, you know, either the can is overflowing or they put bags to the side, and they attract a bear to my street, and then they go home.
Yeah.
And I'm living there, and I'm having to deal with a bear now on our street because somebody who visited and left, didn't even think about it, you know, attracted a bear to my street. Now, maybe that doesn't happen, but, you know, it's kind of like, we want the visitors, but we want them to be respectful, that people live here.
Exactly,
This is
so
not Disneyland.
let's skip around to the Living with Bears Forum. I was
Yeah.
unable
Yeah.
to be there, but is there an education
Yeah.
component, that's going to come out of this?
So they had some good packets for Airbnb.
They do for short-term
Yeah,
rentals.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna
it's-
ask, 'cause
What was
We've
that
got-
group called?
Well, it was actually 2 of them, so it's the people that are doing it over in Gardner.
Right, but what was
What-
that?
Maraware.
What was the group
No,
that was,
it's,
they had the stickers, like Predator?
Oh, no, that's, yeah, Predator, People and Predators or
People and-
something, and I've got their,
Yeah.
I think they had a really good
That was
folder.
the group that has all the great information
Yeah, it
stuff.
was.
People and Predators,
Yeah.
never heard of that.
I've got the sticker and we're doing it. We do have, if you go to the community section on the city webpage, there's now Be Bear Aware
Oh,
is
oh,
a new
good.
section that we
Good.
built the
Great.
base to
Good.
put that into.
Great.
I put the sticker on my can. You know,
Is this, so back to what you were saying about the
Let's
Bear
let
Aware
Joy
thing,
talk. Oh, what?
they had, what you were saying that they had a packet for the rental?
They have printed materials that you can buy to put out there.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, because now that the city requires the licensing and things like that, I'm wondering if it's a requirement that, you know, something be posted in the rental, just like the rentals are required to have a fire extinguisher, they're required to
Right.
show the fire exit or whatever, like,
Exactly.
can we make the Bear Aware thing
Yeah.
a requirement
Mm-hmm.
in order to get your
Yeah.
license renewed or whatever they do for that?
Right.
That makes sense.
We,
And it's just putting the information in.
Yeah. Yeah, in
rental.
your stuff.
and there's some stuff that they have that's there, it's just fleshing it out with better materials.
Going back
What-
to garbage cans being open and people, you know, overfilling,
Mhm.
whoever they are there any grant funds, money for enforcement? I mean, for a person that finds the address and sends them a fine.
So there is some grant money available as part of this Bear Aware community stuff. We did put in it primarily an education thing. It was the Yellowstone Wildlife Sanctuary
Okay.
put in for it. We did
Good.
not get it. And basically, my takeaway was that there are other cities that have this bear thing more in place.
Mhm.
That, and it's not just a government, it's not just an entity, it's kind of a collective wholesome. One of the things that was really interesting, Gardner isn't done. They're in the process of doing it. So they're not even set up
Just the
yet.
interagency bear committee
Yeah.
guidelines.
Yes, yeah. So they were
They
breaking.
had those up, and how you form the committee and what, you know, you've got to
And
have
it was
a
interesting, as they talked
plan.
about it, like, we're in year X and we're at step 2 and we have to, so it's,
Yeah.
so there's kind of a holistic thing that I think we've got the right, we've got Mike here, we've got BR up at the sanctuary, we've got, several. One of the things, and I did not make a deal of it at the forum, we have called up all of those people that were up there a dozen times over the last year. And every time we call them, the answer is if there's not a bear in it, don't call us. If there's not a bear in it at this moment, don't call us. So, yeah, I bit my tongue a little bit, because,
I do too, because,
The
I mean,
FW.
There were-
I realize that Red Lodge,
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at what these other towns are doing, like they were showcasing Gardner, they don't have bear-proof cans everywhere.
Yeah, there's a lot of
We
stuff we do
You
better.
Look at Missoula, Missoula gets showcased a lot.
Yeah.
My colleague's roommate is the guy that does that there, the oldest bear guy in the state they were talking about.
Casey?
No.
Jamie Johnson.
Jamie.
Oh, Jamie,
Oh.
okay.
But, you know, so I hear from him, and it's a nightmare up in the rattlesnake in Missoula, and he's trying to get cans up there. I mean, in some respects, it's good we're moving forward and doing more stuff, but keep in the back of your mind that we're probably, in some regards, we're on the front edge of this stuff with
Yeah.
having all
We're-
these cans in town.
Yeah.
We're not doing it quite right, but.
There's room for fine tuning, but we're still ahead.
We're still
Well,
in
and
the front.
who's the guy from Republic? He said, you guys are on the forefront.
Ryan has constantly said that we're kind of on the lead. We're the, like I said, and this year, we've required it. That's the first year that it's ever been that. It will be required, and that's part of what we're going to here is dumpsters, you know. If they're gonna have a track, then they need to be bear-resistant containers. And then there's a secondary that's trash blowing around, but those don't they have to be covered. That doesn't necessarily mean they're bear-resistant. But I took pictures of half a dozen. Oh, they don't make bear-resistant dumpsters. Really? I got all sorts of pictures of them. They don't make them for free.
Well, with this ordinance 941, does that include
Is that-
enforcement?
Is that the trash one?
Yeah.
Well, that sets the rules. The
Okay.
enforcement, there's a resolution that goes along that's the fines, but the ordinance, like I said, it's two steps. We have to have a rule that we can go out and enforce right now before we do it. One of the reasons this trash came up is because when we went down to when we read, our current ordinance says there's not a trash can in this town that is not a bear-resistant container. Size, dumpster, doesn't matter, says it shall be a bear, go down to the recycling center. The city isn't following our own rules. So that's an indication that those rules need tweak before we go out and start enforcing them. It has to be able to be enforced the same today, tomorrow, and 4 months from now, no matter who we're talking to and about.
So that's a good start.
So that's why that conversation is going on.
Yeah. And then, I wasn't at the bear thing, but is there a next step?
There's a follow-up meeting
Okay, good, to get the
that
committee
is
going?
going to be, and like I said, I actually had it walked out of there with a couple of things too, so that's where we have the,
Great. Oh, good.
Bear Forum. Let's see if,
Maybe I left before that got talked about.
yeah, we had a water main. I sent him out on an errand. July into and then we're gonna do some, bear stuff as part of our regular thing, so we'll have a mailing, and there's like some stickers that we can add to the water bill and stuff
Oh, good.
that we can do. There's a couple of, mailings we're kind of instituting to every place with service addresses. I don't have,
Good.
Anybody who knows Susan Hodvey, she's,
Yep.
but I
Oh, my
don't
gosh.
see, if we settled on a date, I didn't write it
Oh,
down.
okay, yeah.
I wanna say it was gonna be mid-May.
Yeah, oh, good, so there'll be a
I
follow-up.
feel like I got a.
Hopefully we get this
invitation.
committee together.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I
And the
did
committee
too.
is, like a citizen.
Right.
Right.
Someone from the chamber, someone from Fish and Wildlife, someone from the city.
Mhm.
It's a big group of people,
From multiple agencies and
not just
places.
volunteers,
Mhm.
it's, people who have some expertise and who
Right.
can actually, from Republic and,
Yeah,
so it's a process to even get the committee together.
Yeah.
And then to follow the interagency bear committee, steps,
got
so
it.
that we're what is it called, a bear
Bear
aware
Bear aware.
community?
Well, and there's a half a dozen different things that had different kind of branding, and that was one of the steps in there, is making sure it's consistent along.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So,
And part of it, we started this process last year, and it was interesting, because their accounting was, it fell on its face, and our accounting was, we gave you the names and nobody ever heard anything, so we are injecting ourselves a little bit into it, and I specifically reached out and included BR out at the sanctuary, because
Yeah,
Yep.
good.
she's a goer, and like I said, I've heard that woman solicit for donations at a funeral, so successfully, I might add. So, and she's actually sent me some follow-up stuff that is not done and over with yet.
Good, so it's moving forward.
It's moving forward.
Yeah,
That's not ready for
okay.
public dissemination yet, but I know stuff is moving forward.
That's huge.
Yeah.
It
That's
is,
great. That's
because
really
we
good.
shouldn't have, you know, he was talking about the number of, home invasions,
Mhm.
which is really scary.
And there was a good article in the paper for, if anybody doesn't get the paper, you might want to chase down, because it was
Yeah.
a two-part.
Yeah.
It was, yeah,
And just the whole bird feeder issue and
Mhm.
barbecue grill issue, which,
Right.
you know,
It's against state law. Yeah,
to
to
make
feed
them-
birds, yeah.
no, you can
No,
feed birds
no,
in
you
the
can
state
feed
law,
birds.
it just can't spill over for deer and stuff, or they can cite you for it.
You're not
But,
supposed to come out in
their,
summer.
their assertion was, and my wife puts them out during the day and brings them in at night, which I don't, but their assertion was, you don't really need, you know, from a society wise, you were gonna get the point that why do you need to feed birds? And you put out a bird bath and the birds will come to that, as opposed, so there was just
Yeah.
kind of a,
Mhm.
there's a certain amount of push that bird, and it was interesting, because I asked about my grill, because I've got videos of them walking right past my grill, and I'm an okay barbecue, Court.
It's
vouch for me.
barbecue, it's okay.
What's
And,
the law if they walk by?
and that's what it said, yeah, the grills, for whatever reason, they don't bother the grills, which I don't
Weird,
get
yeah.
that, but.
Oh, really?
It's not
But,
a donut. You're not barbecuing a donut. They like donuts, you know, and that kind of stuff. Okay, we're gonna move on.
Okay.
Yep.
We've been kind of skipping around in old business, but we
Yeah.
haven't touched on number 6, community solar news. And we heard from you, and
It's gone through House and just
Right.
easily
40
sailed
has to
through,
sign it
but
now.
there's pressure on the governor from the utilities, so.
the governor has not signed yet.
No.
He doesn't have to sign, I think he has 10 days, if he doesn't sign it, it happens.
It becomes law, I remember that,
But
I'm just a
vetoes it.
bill.
Then we'll see what happens, so he's getting a lot of pressure, so we'll see what happens with that. I guess he's got about 10 days now.
Okay, let us know. We'll keep an eye out in the news too, thanks. Okay, new business, Mike already talked about number 1, 4 new EV chargers ordered by Red Lodge Public Works, yay, thank you very much
Yeah.
for doing that. There is an announcement, the Red Lodge High School
Yeah.
on Thursday,
And
I think
Mike's
it's
gonna be
Thursday,
there.
and Mike is a
Oh,
featured
tomorrow.
speaker.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that
Oh,
sounds.
tomorrow,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tuesday.
so
Okay.
interesting.
What time
on
is
Rock
that?
Creek water quality
Starts at
and,
5:30.
the stormwater
Till
project.
like 8:30, I think.
At
Right.
night, so it's right on top of city council meeting, they didn't plan that well,
Mm.
I won't be there.
Anyway, so that
Wow.
sounds like a very, very good, if anybody can
Great.
attend,
yeah.
What
it's,
time is
it
Starts at 5:30?
starts at
Mm,
5, I
it starts at
think.
5:30.
Okay, yeah.
It's
okay,
5 or
good.
5:30.
Something like that.
At, the Roosevelt Center?
Mhm.
Oh, is that the Roosevelt Center?
Yep, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was at the high school.
Nope, I think it's at Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can
Right,
send you
Roosevelt.
the,
Oh, I've got
Yeah, no, that sounds really good.
Yeah,
That sounds
perfect.
great.
So it'll be very interesting.
Starts
You
at
can make-
5:00,
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay,
and
good.
then 5:30, then 6, and 6:30, 7.
in
Can you
Roosevelt,
forward that
About
to
eight.
me?
Roosevelt Center, right?
Does it say it's at the Roosevelt Center, Mike?
Yeah. it's a-
Okay, got it. Okay, so if you could make it there, that would be awesome. Right. Okay, the last thing, energy conservation goals. I know you guys have been scouring, as Mike calls our Bible, of things that, you might like to, personally take on. Anything here that just, that there's a lot of stuff in, recycling and
There's a lot in recycling.
that, I think we can probably, jump on top of, even though the contract is being negotiated, if anybody is motivated.
Because basically education and recycling, no matter who's doing it or how they're doing it, you have to clean your stuff, you have to
Yeah.
know what a
Right.
1 or 2 and a 7 or 8 is and all
Right,
that
unless
stuff.
you're a big city like Salt Lake, which has this big
Yeah.
conveyor belt sorting thing, I don't know how they do it, but anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
We don't
and we're
do-
not.
and,
I think
but if,
education has-
there's other things in here, so,
Well,
did anybody come up with anything that they felt passionate about?
Well, I would like to work on recycling. I don't know that we'll make much progress with single-use water bottles. We do have the station, and that's good. That's good.
I would love to see another station,
The schools all have stations, single-use water stations,
you know, on
which
the
are
other
good.
side of town, on the north side of town. I would love to see another water bottle station.
Would you like to take that on?
Well, I think it would be a green team. I mean, I could work with the green team.
Would
but-
you be interested in doing that?
Well, yeah.
There's a two-part process to that too. So the
Yeah.
first one is the finances of getting them built together and put
Right.
in.
Yeah.
But the second one is, and I would think those are gonna fall under kind of the same thing. This is a parks issue where we're discussing things that how do we, anytime there's something in the public right of way, because that requires maintenance and ongoing. So council needs to have a sign off before, hey, we'll give you this and you're not responsible for dumping 10,000 a year into maintaining it, right?
Right.
Sort of a concept, so.
Right. And it has to be hooked up, obviously, to the water
Getting people to
system.
use it.
Okay.
Well,
Because we have the one right now just right over here by the ATM still, don't we?
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And that was a green
You
team.
put one on public
That was a green
restrooms.
team project. And speaking of the green team, Deb, did you ever have a chance, I don't know where you are,
I don't know if you guys heard, but Mike said putting them, the place where we have public restrooms
Mm.
would actually be a fairly easy add-on to
Oh.
do that.
And that's a
It
park.
would be, you know, it'd be the same as
On
going
Farmers
out here,
Market.
we'd have to shut it down in the winter,
Yeah.
Right,
but,
right.
it'd be available for, what, 4, 5 months, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Sure. Mary Dale, you wanna
Pride
kinda
Park
look
to the
into that
CIP?
one and take that on?
Did you get the Pride
And
Park
that
one
gets-
added to the CIP
I
yet?
think it's still
And
there.
Deb, if you're still around, there you are.
Pride Park
Did you ever get a hold of the green team
we'll
and,
put it back.
and talk to them about, what they're up to
Oh,
and?
no, I'm very interested in their project of, stormwater in Rock Creek, so this will be a way to do an inroads to that and, think, what we might have a project for
Yeah.
them to do. Yeah,
Okay. Wonderful. Well, maybe we'll see you tomorrow night at the green team presentation,
yeah,
okay?
I'm gonna come to that, yeah.
Good.
And one other thing, I get the climate stuff from Missoula, and they're showing a film about plastics and single-use bags and bottles, but it seems like it might have a little bit of a different take, you know. Like, plastic is ubiquitous, and so what do we do? And I wondered if maybe the green team could maybe get it to show, you know, at the Roman.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
See if you can get the name of that film.
I can, yeah.
Is that the one that tells me I have a plastic spoon in my brain?
Exactly.
Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I think we all do.
Yeah, that, the microplastics in our brain, we basically are all walking around with a plastic spoon in our brain, so.
Yeah.
No, that's super. Maybe Deb would like to help you with that, 'cause she's
Okay.
interested in working with the green
Okay,
team.
yeah.
What do you think, Deb? Is that something you'd be interested in?
He's doing a thumbs up, you just can't see it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Good.
I'd love that.
Good.
Okay, I'll
Perfect.
send you that email, from Missoula.
Okay,
Okay,
excellent, thank you.
sure, thank you.
I'm gonna go be gone next month, I just wanna let you know, but
Okay.
I'll definitely work on it.
Well, the other thing in here that's interesting, can't find it now, but it's, solar. Once the city gets their solar together, which they definitely are, moving into the community. And if this, community solar comes through, remember that man that contacted us?
I saw their building and billing,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who said he would really be interested in working on community solar in the community, and I think CCRC would be willing to work together on that if it happens, so
What's his name?
I can't
Is
remember.
that
exactly.
different from who did it a couple years ago?
Yes.
Yeah,
This
this
is
is,
a different guy who contacted you, remember, and you put him in touch with CCRC.
yeah, got his name
Yes.
somewhere, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just
He was
something
like
down
Henry Dykema. He had his own
there.
business.
Right,
Yeah, but what was it called? It was a cute name.
I've got
yeah,
it written
I've
down
got it written
somewhere.
down, we can
Okay.
find it.
Yeah.
But otherwise it's
Question, the plan the plan. When was that last updated? Because out on the website, the one that I'm looking at is like from 2018. Is there anything newer?
There's a
And
real new one, it should be on there.
Where am I? Okay, I don't know why I can't find it, because it keeps sending me.
We
that there
just
was in
renewed it,
2018.
Yeah.
last year.
Okay.
And what is it called again?
Energy Conservation Plan.
Let me do,
Yes, it got
Yeah.
updated, and
Mhm.
things got removed that had been done,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if you click on the link that says Energy Conservation
Oh.
Plan, and then go and download the document, it says, unless I'm missing, it says 2018. Unless I'm missing, is it
Well,
a
I'm
date
hoping the
someplace else?
date is just wrong and not the plan.
That
There's a
part
date with-
didn't get changed.
Is there a copyright someplace else on here?
I don't
Could we find something that got changed to look at? Something we
Oh,
know was
man.
changed?
That's all right. I just was curious, because I was like, I don't wanna, because one of the things, like, I guess I would be interested in, I know that we've talked about EV vehicles in town, and that's not.
Yeah.
But I think we're kind of putting the cart before the horse. Have we done, is there anything that says, like, okay, this is the current baseline that the city has from a, emissions and whatever from the vehicles, and this is how much, this is what we're doing for refueling and blah, blah, blah. Like, because even with the maintenance that we do on the vehicles and keeping up on things like that can help reduce our emissions. And so, maybe instead of just jumping right to EV, are there steps we can be taking? I mean, I don't know what the city uses to gas their fleet vehicles, but most fleet cards have reporting that says that you can get your carbon emissions reporting from some of your statements and things like that.
Huh.
So I'm thinking there's probably information available that we could set a baseline
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
Oh, wow.
establish, reductions based on just what our current and projected usage is.
I think that was being done, for years by the AmeriCorps kids that
Okay.
would come in. And, so if you want to pursue that, because now that AmeriCorps is no more, maybe we need to take that on. Would you like to pursue that?
Yeah, I can, I just would
And
need to
just
know,
do the data?
yeah, who to start with, like who,
Where did they
like,
keep it?
who manages the city fleet, so we have,
Lonnie does.
okay.
Yeah, I talked to Lonnie
Start
about all
with
that.
Lonnie. Okay.
City fleet data. She also has data on everything that is being, all energy use in the city. Lights, electricity, street lights, city building lights, all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you want to take that.
I don't know if I'm willing to take quite that much.
No.
Exactly, but,
Let me start with fleet stuff,
Yeah.
because I kind of understand that, so.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
City fleet data, that's perfect. All right. And I said I said this before, and I haven't done anything about this, but I might do this now. Look about the, employee handbook and make sure that, the sustainability stuff that we have implemented is in the employee handbook, like, just, I mean, it's become part of, the operation, and people take it for granted, like they're gonna recycle here or whatever, but just to make sure that it's, codified someplace.
Yeah.
So I will do that.
and that would be Lonnie as well, because
Yeah.
she's updating those right now. So if they're not, we can get them in there, so.
Oh, good. Perfect. Okay. And the last thing is, Mary
I was able to
Jo,
find that 2018. I'm sending it to Danae. I've CC'd you
for what?
on the conservation plan.
Okay,
I
think this is the new one. I've got.
what does your title page
Copy.
look like?
No.
Or
It's
does it-
awful
I've
cute,
done one.
like that.
Oh, that's the one I'm working off of.
We'll have to click on- yeah, I think that's the old one that's on the website.
I think that's
That's
the old one.
2018,
Oh, this is the
so
new one, I
That's what I
think.
have
I
too.
still have the
energy
old one, too.
conservation.
Yeah, I need to
found
get
it
the
on the
new one.
website.
You have this one too?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I just kept pulling up the old one,
Yeah.
I need to get the new one.
Maybe we could get hard copies made. I mean, we
Yeah,
hate to
that'd
do
be great.
hard copies, but,
Or if we can just
no.
make sure that
You
the old,
guys
new one is
can't.
out
Other
there
people
somewhere.
can. Of all the people out there, you can't.
I would say, as long as the new one's out there somewhere, and someone can send me the link, that'd be.
I mean,
yeah.
it's just, exactly, it's,
Give me the link.
I kinda like a hard copy to look at. That's why I had
do too.
them make
You
it.
can highlight and turn down the.
Let
corner.
me, see if I can get some hard copies made. Who needs a hard copy? New hard
But
copy.
do it
Yeah, I
two
would
for
like one.
one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got a
probably
picture of
won't.
them. This one.
Deb, you want a new hard copy of the, energy conservation? Yep, okay.
if we might change our mind.
4 hard copies. Okay. Got it. Okay, we'll do that. Last but not least, Mary Dell, has agreed to be co-chair.
Yay.
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 Yay. So, I really appreciate that. She's been with us as, you know, forever and knows the routine, and, thank you very much for stepping up.
Sure, I'm happy to do that.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Dell. Thank you.
Okay, so, anything else? I've got some assignments from this time, hard copies. Talked to Sean and Rod over at the IGA or whatever it is now, especially about chocolate
And
and
if they
bags.
could say, yeah, talk about chocolate.
I
Yeah,
didn't talk
if they
about
say,
it.
okay, I'd be willing to help with finding a sign,
Okay,
figuring it out.
Yeah.
I'd help with that.
okay, thanks. Okay. Anything else? Design, assign. Okay.
The beer thing.
Thanks very much. Hey,
Yeah.
under an hour. That's the goal.
Wow, and there was a lot to talk about.
That was a lot to talk about, and we strayed a little bit, but, we got her done.
Into gardening and landscaping.
Well, gosh, it's hard to think spring when it snows, but that's what it is.
Are we good then?
We're good, thank you very
Deb,
much.
did you have anything else you wanted to say before I end the meeting and cut you off?
No, thank you, Mayor and everyone.
Thanks, Deb.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.